Well, good morning and Merry Christmas. Oh, will you cut that out? That I was talking to the thing that popped up on the thing and said it's not recording, but it is recording. I don't know why it does that so often and why it doesn't do it at other times. I don't know. Anyway, the title of the talk today is Christmas in the Trenches. That's us. This is not the Christmas message I planned when I thought I could buy time by filing bankruptcy. It is nevertheless an appropriate message for this Christmas day in 2015. We are in the trenches, and the enemy is both seen and unseen. We are fighting not only for our survival, but for the world itself. God so loved the world. Really? Show me the evidence. War is fought in ways we have not imagined, but the criminal minds that run our governments keep devising new ways to enslave us. There can and will be no peace on earth as long as tyrants are permitted to remain in control. And again, I'm not going to read the PayPal stuff. But yesterday was an interesting day. I wrote that blurb in the morning, so it's 20 hours maybe ago, 19, 20 hours ago, that I actually wrote that blurb. Before I even recorded the second video yesterday, I had written the blurb for Christmas in the Trenches. Um, so it's not the latest information. Uh, as I've said, uh, I thought I could buy time filing bankruptcy by hiring an attorney. Uh, there, I contacted 4 attorneys altogether. The last one has never gotten back to me. He was supposed to get back to me uh, the night before last, before he went home. I contacted them at between 2 and 3 p.m. and I talked to his legal assistant or his secretary, and they were open till noon yesterday, and I didn't hear anything from them. So I don't imagine any attorney is going to help. I think I'm blacklisted because one of the things that I do is I point out that attorneys are fraud. I mean, what they're committing is fraud, and it's been going on. It's been going on in the United States since before the so-called Civil War. There is no such thing as a civil war, by the way. That's insane to think that war is ever civil. There's nothing civil about it. Only demon-possessed people who profit from war would push war. That's the kind of people that we have running the world. It's true on this Christmas day. But in any case, I did not get an attorney to help me file bankruptcy. And one of the reasons is because it says I don't own my home, even though there's a clouded title. And I have filed that with the court, my paperwork with the court, and they've accepted it. Now, I don't know what they did with it. They might have buried it somewhere, but it's filed with the court. In any case, I got phone calls and contacts from different people yesterday. Well, let me back up a little bit before I even talk about the most important of the phone calls, and that is, uh, well, it was a phone call also. One of my friends suggested that I go out and find somebody and give something as a Christmas gift to someone that's in a worse shape than I am. And I went out. I was going to go to the homeless shelter. It's not a homeless shelter. The place where they feed the homeless. It's a thing here in Melbourne where they actually give, I think, a couple of meals a day at least to homeless people. And they provide free meals. But there's usually scores of people congregating at that location, and it would be hard to give a gift to one individual that you pick out of the crowd. And I'm told that some people actually go there to try to panhandle, and they're not even homeless, but they pretend to be. But anyway, I rode around Melbourne, and I finally saw a man with a backpack at his feet, sitting at the corner of in front of a bank, and on a main intersection. And I pulled over, parked in the bank parking lot, and went and started talking to him. And after I determined his situation, uh, I ended up pulling the envelope that I had tucked in the back of my pants under my shirt uh, out and gave him a Christmas card with a monetary gift. Uh, and it felt really good. Plus, I gave my grandkids. They haven't opened it yet, and they'll be opening it this morning. But I gave them each an envelope with more money than I usually give them for Christmas. So it was impressed upon me to give yesterday, even though uh, I sensed such overwhelming need in regard to my house. But then I had a telephone call from a particular individual who said, God always answers my prayer. And he and I talked at some length. And he said, I'm going to pray that you're going to be able to keep your house. And God never says no to me. God always answers my prayer. And as we talked, you know, I shared with him what other people have shared with me. They think that when I had my operation, uh, some of the things that were done sort of messed up my mind a little bit too. Of course, the stroke has an effect on that as well. But the drugs that they were giving me and some of the things that they did when they opened my body up and had me, you know, going through a 12-hour operation or 11 hours or whatever it was. It was a long time, I do know that. Uh, they did something that messes with my consciousness, messes with my conscious mind. And that seemed to resonate with me, that yeah, that's why I'm having such a hard problem having faith in God. And this person says God is faithful. He always answers prayers, and he says, I'm going to pray for you. And he sent me some more information about some of the things that have been filed against the attorneys and the judges with the National Liberty Alliance and with Judge Anna von Wright, however you say the name, von Ritz or Wrights or something, from Alaska. And these affidavits have been filed with the courts, and the courts know that we are after them. And they're scared. You know, they're scared because all of a sudden, so many people are awake, and so many people, including the National Liberty Alliance, which still has not received the stuff that I emailed them, and they need to provide a viable address in the United States, not in a foreign country where mail delivery is suspect and not to be trusted because people steal mail. I can't believe that. I mean, that's just unbelievable. But then again, I've sent it twice to them by email, and they still haven't received it. The documentation that I sent with my affidavit and with backup documentation. But in any case, we are humans. Humanity is fighting a battle that we're going to win. We're going to win, and God is on our side. And as far as losing my home, yeah, I'm not going to be able to find an attorney because attorneys are crooked, and I'm sorry I gave $3,500 to the one attorney for nothing. I mean, at the most, I bought a month. I bought a month, basically, for $3,500. That's a high cost of trying to maintain my home. And he changed his rate from $200 to $275 an hour. You know, initially it was $275 an hour, and he says all the other lawyers are charging more money, and he says I'm going to raise my rates. But he didn't tell me he was going to raise it on me, because it was $200 when I first spoke to him, and then when I got the bill, we had already used up the $2,000 that I gave him, so I had to give him $1,500 more. So, folks, there's a whole lot of shenanigans going on, a whole lot of stuff going on, but behind the scenes, there are good things going on. People are beginning to wake up, and yes, it's Christmas in the trenches, but It was a full moon on Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day. It's a full moon. And that hasn't happened, I forget what the person said to me, since 1977 maybe, something that goes back a ways. In any case, uh, I'm going to be contacting uh, the sheriff, and there's over 500 sheriffs that are taking the course with National Liberty Alliance for civics, and many of them are already on board to do the right thing, because the sheriffs are going to be charged with crimes if they don't fulfill their oath of obligation to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States, which is the real Constitution, not the phony stuff that the lawyers have put in place to usurp our freedom and to usurp power over us. There is no power over us. We are the power, each of us, invested with that power from God, from our Creator. And it's not the law of the sea that they use, it's the law of the land that matters. And that's what Anna von Reitz's documents show. So anyway, it's Christmas in the trenches, yes, but I feel signs of turning, and I am going to, as I said, contact my local sheriff and see where he stands on all this, and uh, talking to some friends, and I actually feel it, and I slept for like I really had the best night's sleep I've had in a good while last night. Uh, so my peace is being restored, at least somewhat, and I'm getting in a better position spiritually and mentally uh, as a result of some of the conversations and things that happened yesterday. So those of you that are also struggling like I have been, chin up, and God is going to uh, come through for us. That's what I felt as I went to bed last night after I had the conversation with my friend from the northern part of the United States. Anyway, thank you for listening once again, and I know I went over my 10-minute limit, uh, but occasionally that's going to happen, and sometimes it's going to be less than 10 minutes. But again, thank you, and may each of you have a very Merry Christmas. Namaste.